We're into the second week in November now, and I have started to put some of my bits away. Well, this has actually been away for a week or so now, maybe a couple of weeks. And this is Muhlenbergia demosa and it's from Mexico. It's a kind of a cross between a grass and a bamboo, because it's called the bamboo muley. Don't know why. Bit weird of a name, but anyway, that's what it's called. And it's fantastic, and it has this lovely look about it, but it will not survive outside. Now, although it's only just inside this open garage, it'll be fine here. The frosts won't hit it. It'll be absolutely fine. I saw somebody the other day posting about your bulbs in a shed and that you've got to be careful because the frost will still get them. It's simply not true. They won't. The frost won't get your bulbs if you're storing them away inside in a shed. It's impossible. I just thought I'd say that. Anyway, so the garden is definitely going into dormancy now because we're, like I said, second week in November. But some things still look good. This is my standing out area for some of my overspill of my plants and my little nursery bit that, when I sell plants. And these are the plants I took cuttings of the other day, the Ilotalatheums. And they're okay. They're starting to pop up still. They're doing all right. Some of the grasses, like this one here, this one's pretty much unknown with a lot of people. This is Lamprophysis ironronomy, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. People don't get it. I don't know why they don't like that one. It's a beautiful grass. Once they see it into full size, then they change their minds because it has a beautiful look about it. And it is quite a big grass because it gets to 3 foot by 3 foot. So it needs its room. It needs to spread its feet out a little bit. This is the greenhouse. Not doing a lot in here at the minute, apart from potting one or two little bits and bobs on. I've got the sedums and the Calana Chloe. Calana Chloe. Or Choey. Whatever you want to call it. I can never pronounce it. That's in there. Got this little beast here. That's really nice. That's Ferulia tingitana. Oh, God, I can't say. Ferulia tingitana, and it's Cedric Morris, and it's a particular type. It's hard to get hold of, and I got a load of seeds, and only 2 came up, and then 1 died, and now another one's decided to pop out of that one. So there's actually 2 in there now. This is Cortaderia Patagonia, and it would be a lot easier just to split that plant, but I've got some going from seed because I just wanted to try it, see what would happen. It's a bluer variety. So I'll just take you for a quick walk around the garden, see what's happening at the moment. As you can see up at Grassy Bottom here, we got lots of things going over, and the grasses are carrying on the show. That's not grass, that's Eupatorium, that. I think it's Eupatorium maculatum gateway. I'm not sure it's a maculatum type, to be honest. But anyway, that's Persicaria polymorpha, the really big one that has white flowers. And it goes into a nice autumn colour. If it can do it quick enough, it'll go into all tones of yellow like it is doing there. But we're not getting cold enough quick enough this year. There's the grass I keep talking about. Absolutely fantastic, that. I love it. That's Miscanthus sinensis memory, if you're wondering. So Deschamps, we did a little chat on that, didn't we? And there they go. They're still looking good, as I predicted. And the euphorbias, Wolfenii, just a selected seedling. Look how good that looks. That's just got, it's cold today, so it's got a bit of cold on it, and it's got a bit of moisture that's clinging to it, so it gives it that lovely look. It's not going to be too long before this starts pushing up its flower heads. Once winter kicks in properly, it'll start pushing those up. Before you know it, there'll be a load of flower heads on it. Yeah, that's last of the summer drummers. I'll just snap that. But they're still in. There's 1 or 2 still in the garden. Really, they need removing because, look here, they grow. They grow very, very early on, that allium. As you can see, look, the green there, they grow very, very quickly. Now, I've put I put plant grow mulch on this year, and I suspect it's helping to push them on. But having said that, the first year I put them in, they were just as big. It's quite an impressive allium. Panicums. If you're not into panicums, try and get one or two. This one's called Storm Cloud. It's still a young baby. It's only 2 years in, but it's starting to get there now. And that's a nice colour. All silver birches have this ability to turn this butter yellow. It's fantastic, really. It's a lovely colour. So that's a nice autumn colour. And that's a Jacquemontii, so it's an Himalayan type, the Himalayan birch. That is whiter and will be, and it's started to take on its white tones now. It has been for a year or so now, but another couple of years that's going to look stunning. Roses. This is Rosa glauca, and it's a Himalayan rose, Himalayan musk rose next to the Himalayan birch. And it's only a little one at the moment. I've had to chop it back because it wasn't growing how I wanted it to. So I just chopped it back, and given time, that'll be absolutely stunning. We're getting some more roses growing, and I've had a lot of people ask me questions about the roses. Why are they growing still? They just do. Some will actually carry on growing through winter, flowering through winter. It's just the nature of the beast. And the type, what depends which type you've got. I'm no rose expert, but anyway. Right, let's do a little experiment here. This is alligator, Miscanthus sinensis alligator, and all I've done is pop it on there. I'm going to see if it's already trying to root out, because often they will. Yeah, there we go. Look, it's rooting out already. It's trying to root out into there. It's not going to stay there. That's not its final position. That's still looking good. I love that. That's an elder. Black Tower. I just love it. It's fantastic. I've got some babies. I've got a couple of babies in the garden that I took cuttings from, and there they are. They're starting to turn black now, but them leaves will soon drop. It's usually one of the last shrubs to lose its leaves in my garden, and it was back end of November last year when they finally dropped. Astrantias, one or two Astrantias still doing well, because I cut them quite early on, and I've took seeds from them, and they're doing the thing. This is the cloister pergola. I love it. I love this cloister pergola. It was a build of passion, definitely. I absolutely love it. If you look back in my videos, you'll see me building that. I know I get some people saying that I could zoom through the garden too quick. Well, I've been through the garden that many times and done that many videos that you need to look back on them to see different areas. This is a little area that I'm developing. All this area is still in development because I want to make this feel right, this cloister pergola entrance. And I've taken out more grass. More of the lawn has gone again, and I put 2 more Viburnum Davidii that I showed on a video not long back. There's another one at the back there. So I've coupled it with that, and I've had a jiggle around with some plants. Some have been removed and put elsewhere. We've put a Eupatorium purpureum in there. It's not gone purple yet, as the name purpureum suggests, but it will do. And it's fine. It's a good time to move things around. That Miscanthus is looking good. That's Red Cloud. That's a really good one. Everything else is still looking pretty good, really. Okay, I know it's dying, but you know, as long as things die beautifully, then they're quite acceptable in most gardens. Look at the colour of that. That's a Miscanthus, and it's a giganteous type. It's called Jubilaris. It has a more stripy leaf, as you can see there. So it's a really good one. There's some geraniums that were already here, so I can't tell you the name of those. But they're flowering, as is the Cirsium. That's still flowering. Well, it continues to flower. It keeps coming and going, to be honest. There's my Euphorbia. That's a selected seedling, at least, what would I say, at least 10, 15 years ago. And it's really doing its thing now. I'm hoping it'll flower this year. It never flowered yet last year. I don't know why. It just didn't flower. And it's coupled with this Miscanthus cheiugensis and the Ilotelephum, unknown type, because it was already here. I have jiggled things around. Rosemary prostata. It's flowering, look at that. This time of year and it's flowering. It's not unknown, I mean, it depends on the season. We've still got some achilles that have reflowered. This is called Credo. This is an Ernst Pagels type. And not far away is this Pinus contorta Chief Joseph. And look at the colours. That is just stunning. I really like this one. Paid a fortune for it. When it turned up, it was like a little twig. But it's doing well now. It's doing all right. I don't think I really show this one. Not much, anyway. That's the English yew called Taxus baccata Davidii. And what I've done with this particular one is I've cloud pruned it. Been working on that over the last 2 years. And it's starting to get there. Let's step back so you can see a better look of it. And I'm letting some areas like this, I'm trying to let these get a little bit bigger so we can form bigger clouds. And it's looking all right. This is the gravel garden we're in at the moment. That's a Rhododendron macrophylla. It's beautiful. Massive leaves on it. In fact, it continues to try and grow. As you can see, the new one down there. I don't know what will happen with that. Maybe it'll sit like that all winter and carry on after winter. I don't know. I've got scabious here, Ocaraluca. I think it is. Not sure. Looking good. If it'll focus in for you. So that will continue to feed a few pollinators, should there be any. That's looking nice. That was again a selected seedling from Matrona. I call it Igor the Giant because its initial leaves were huge. As a seedling, it had 2 leaves and they were massive. There's another euphorbia there. And that's just self-set itself there. And I've left it. I've left it alone. It would prefer a sunnier spot, to be quite honest, but it does get a lot of sun there. And there's the mother it came from. It's a lovely prostate type. It does really well. It prefers sun. Make no bones about that. It would prefer sun. So this one has been redeveloped, as you know, this border. Another great euphorbia. This is the time of year to get your euphorbias in, the Wolfeni eyes types. Any euphorbia, to be quite honest, all the evergreen ones anyway. This is a sorbus. And it's the Chinese sorbus. I think I said it was a Japanese one, but it's not. It's a rowan, the Chinese rowan. And it's called Scalaris. I keep forgetting its name. And it's only just going into its autumn slumber. The colours are not even there yet, and it usually goes a really bright orange. And it's the only one that's retained its leaves, as far as I'm aware. So yes, we've put another grass here. This one's called Kupperswurg. It means copper kettle. Nice little grass. It'll be more upright, but small. It's not a very big grower. Oh, there we go, look. The one I talked about earlier, Lamprophysis hydronomy, produces these lovely little seed heads. Now, it has a peculiar way of flowering twice in the year, sort of July, August, or is it June to August, and then again in October, November. The second flowering isn't as great, but then again I moved it, didn't I? Not so long back. We moved that because we're developing this area. Looks a bit sparse at the moment, but given time, I'm surprised at this. This is Begonia, and it's called Alexander's Great, and it just keeps going. I'm putting this down to the plant grow mulch and the weather. Look, another one. That's the Jill Richardson group, that one. As was the other one I showed you earlier, but the other one was one given to me by Jill Richardson via her sister. So, this is going to look good this year. I know it's all looking a bit sparse, but look at it, still looking good. The grasses really do help. This is a cracking grass, this one. It's from Pan Global Plants, and it's just Calamagrostis emidensis, but it's one that he selected himself in, is it either northeast Himalayas or somewhere around the Himalayas. And it has a really green seed head when it first comes out, and then it turns to this usual buff colour or straw colour, call it what you will. I was expecting the Millennias to have all crashed to the ground by now, but they're continuing to go. They're still doing the thing. We've got a viburnum back there. You can see those little starry flowers. That's viburnum bodnantens. It's likely to be dawn, because that's the most popular one. So it's likely to be doing that. Be dawn, rather. Now, this is a rare miscanthus called gold feather, and it's a sport off of silver feather. Can you believe it? So it was just a sport, and it's not very much available, and it's not in the marketplace really because it's very slow. It just doesn't want to go very quickly, so it takes an age for it to get going. So the people that sell these things decided, well, you know what, we can't make no money on that, so that's what they do. But it's a beautiful grass. This is my own sport, so we might as well have a look at this one. This is Sprite, and it continues to be small, very diminutive. We'll see what happens with that. And next to it is just Hacanacloa macra, looking fantastic. Look at those seed heads. Aren't they great? It just gives it this whole new look once the seed heads come. We'll not mention those poppies again, because look at them, they just won't stop flowering, which is great. I don't know what's gone on with that one. This is Acergrisium, now in its autumn colours. Look at that. It's one of the later ones to come into colour, but it's also quite late for me coming into leaf. It's doing all right at the moment. Out now, look at this, look at that. Hey, I scrounged that off somebody who was binning it, who was going to put it in a skip. Well, they were going to burn it, actually. And it's rotten at the bottom. But I decided it's too good to lose, so I'm going to somehow I'm going to put it under here and have it as an opening door going down into the secret garden. Because this is the secret garden that we've been doing a bit of filming around just lately. And it's looking good now. It's looking all right. Plants are starting to get established. They're looking all right. Particularly that fern. Let's give you the name of that one. Triopteris affinis robusta, but I'll show you the label so you can look it up. And it's a really nice one. It's only second year, but it's going to be massive eventually. I've coupled it up with this little sculpture thing here that I cobbled together myself. I bought the 3 little ferny metal bits, and then we put it with that copper, which is an old copper that they used to wash the clothes in back in the day, before washing machines were invented. Catinus, looking a bit straggly. It's a very difficult plant to mess around with that, but it's looking good. Now then, this is something that I learned this year, because I forgot, because it's 20-30 years since I had a Fatsia japonica, and I thought it was flowering too late, but it's not, it's spot on. Look at those, aren't they looking great? They're absolutely fantastic. They look great. They look very much like an ivy. And there is one called Fatsia, which is a Fatsia japonica coupled with a big ivy. And it's called Fatsia, and it's a real weird one. Well, this is looking good. And there we go. This is the shack, as you know. I'm still messing about with things over here, but we're getting there. Time. It's all down to time. But it's looking nice. I'm quite happy with it at the moment. There's 1 or 2 changes that may occur. I don't know. We'll see. There's this hydrangea. It's a quercifolia called Burgundy. Look at that colour. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? There we go, if you're interested in buying one. We have a lot of begonias. Did I say the other was a begonia or a Brunera? No, it's Brunera, the last one I showed you. Alexander's great. This is begonias. And I've got several of these. There is a label somewhere, but I'm starting to collect them because I really like them. They're really nice. Oh, look at the buddleia. This one came to me via a garden we was working in, and it was just a good one. And I think it's Lockhinch. I think it is. It's got all the attributes of Lockhinch, so hopefully that is. And I've had it in 2 other gardens, and I brought it here as a tiny cutting, and it's finally getting away. It's away, bit shady there, but it'll still do well. Now, let's have a smell. Oh yeah, the scent's there. The scent is now on these on these viburnums. Look at them. It's absolutely clothed in it. And the downside to this plant is this is the time of year when it flowers, and nobody, except us true gardeners, ever want to come out and look at them and smell them. But I do. I come out and smell those, so there are some lovely shrubs at this time of year for scent. There's another sorbus, and as I said, the other one's still got its leaves, but this hasn't. But it's got all these berries, and this is called autumn spire. So it's full of berries for the birds. Now the birds tend to leave that colour a little bit later. It's weird. That's the pond area, the wildlife area that I will get to this winter. That will be a winter project, I'm afraid. I promised I would do that earlier on, but I've had too many other things going on. If you don't know, I do artwork as well. So if you want to check up Richard Chuck Art, you'll find what I do. I do a stained glass type effect art. That's unique to me. I come up with it. Might be worth you looking at that. I do sell them. There we go. Look at that. Oh, I just love that euphorbia. It's like my favourite. I mean, it is one of mine, called Malachite. Right next to it, actually, is Black Pearl. A bit smaller because it's only its second year in. Okay, I think that's about all I can talk about, really. I just wanted to come around the garden and show you the autumn slumber it's now reaching. It's now reaching its crescendo. Let's show you this. That's Catinus Young Lady, and it usually goes a really orangey colour, but it's only gone in there this year, and it's under a tree, but it's doing okay. It gets lots of sun, so it doesn't struggle. I think this is Euphorbia palustris, Wallenberg's Glory, and it's coming into its autumn colours now. If it gets colder quicker, it'll come really pinky red very quickly, but the yellow leaves are really nice. Oh look, we've got Aston Monk over there, still flowering, still trying to flower. And the one that's right in the background where the euphorbia is, there's a little purple section you can see. That's Ezo Muzaraki, and that's one of the last of the Symphotrichums to flower, actually. I've got a lot of expectation for this border next year because it was planted up about a month, maybe a month and a half ago, and simply because I wanted to do it while things were in flower. I wanted to move things around, knowing that they would look good eventually, and they will. I think everything's right. I keep reevaluating it, and it's looking good at the moment. I think that euphorbia back there, the little tiny one, is that Pasteurii. It's a tender one, so we don't know. It's a euphorbia cross, yes, Pasteurii, and it's got this lovely leaf. Look at that. But it really does require protection, and it will get it here to a degree, and I'm just going to leave it to its own devices. If it dies, then that's 12 quid down the Swanee, but hey ho. So there you go. Looking really nice at the moment. I'm quite happy with it. I suspect that door up the top there will be the next job I'll do before the pond. Again, I've probably done 3 other projects before the pond that I meant to do. Anyway, there you go. So Des is coming down. Look, he stood there in the corner at the top looking at me. So I'll end it there, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for looking. Ta-da.